All right. Hello, everybody. It is Coach Lisa with the Running University, and I'm back here with another one of my awesome True Tribe members. I'm getting some really good feedback on these interviews. I love that you can meet, and hopefully these ladies are inspiring you as much as they inspire me. And you're going to get to meet, everybody in the tribe is special, but Jan really is, I was going to call her our biggest cheerleader in the tribe. And I will actually say I did remember this when I started thinking about this interview. When I sent the newsletter out, when I opened up the tribe for the very first time, you were the first person who signed up for the True Tribe. So I get things thinking about it. Jan is one of my biggest fans, and I really appreciate her so much, but she's such a great inspiration in the tribe. So as always, I just want to have everybody, understand, how is it, how did you meet me, and how did you get involved in the tribe?
Okay, so I met Lisa at Running for Bruce in Tempe in Gordon Biersch back in 2013. I think it was September or October, and I found it just on meetup.com. I was working in the US, and I wanted to meet some cool people to run with. And I went along to Running for Bruce, and the rest is history.
Excellent. Yes, that was 2013. That's like 10 years ago now that I just put that together 10 years ago.
10 years, yeah.
That's awesome. And you weren't living here though, or you were living here at the time?
Yeah, I lived in Arizona for a year from April 2013 to April 2014.
Okay, so we're going to go back a little bit so y'all can get to know Jan, why, because obviously she's not American from her accent. So tell us a little bit about where you came from and maybe some of your athletic background from when you were in Ireland.
Yep, so I'm from Ireland. I grew up in a small place called Wexford, which is 2 hours south of Dublin. But I lived 20 years in Dublin. So that's pretty much where I was my adult life after I went to university. My athletic background is in team sports. So my mom was a top Gaelic footballer, which is a sport that is pretty unique to Ireland, but it has spread to all the parts of the world where Irish people have made their homes. So I played Gaelic football and soccer from the time I was probably 7 years old until I retired about 32, 33. Aside from the time I was in America. Now, having said that, I played soccer in America, in Albuquerque, in Phoenix, and in Portland. So everywhere I went, I sought out local soccer team to get to know people and to find some positive people. I'm also a big golfer. So I played a lot of golf in Ireland. It's one of the things I kind of miss because the club scene is not the same in America as in Ireland. So I do miss my golf, but they were the main sports I played. Yeah.
So when did you start running?
Really started running when I came to America in 2010. So in Albuquerque. So the first place I lived in the US was Albuquerque, New Mexico. And along with the soccer, I met a friend there who was doing a 10K, and she talked me into it. And then I signed up with Albuquerque Fit to actually train for a 10K. And at the time, I remember thinking how far the 10K was. But that was when I really started. And I really got into running after I stopped playing sports.
Okay.
So it was another outlet aside from team sports.
Yes. So let us know, you've obviously been running for a little bit. You started running about 10 years ago-ish, right? Why do you keep running now?
So I find that running is incredible for my anxiety. I have, as a teenager and a young adult, I had some quite bad anxiety struggles. And I find exercise really helps me with that. Also, just from a physical well-being point of view, just to feel good and to achieve finish lines, not finish times, finish lines.
Yes,
Stuff
I
like
love
that.
that. I love that. So a couple things from here. We'll get back to the finish line thing.
Hmm.
But that's what this is one of the things that I love and appreciate about Jan too. You know, there's been a stigma about mental health, and I really feel like we're coming a long way because a lot more people are open to talking about it. But it's one of the things I admire about you and appreciate about you because you do set an example in the tribe that it's
Yeah.
okay to talk about it and that yes, running, walking, physical activity period are such a great way to help with any type of mental health issues, whether it's anxiety or depression.
Hmm.
So let's talk about finish lines. I'm just going to ask this because this popped in my head as we were reviewing some of the pictures and the videos, and I feel like we might be jumping ahead, but it's okay. I remember one point, and I was looking to see if it was actually in your member spotlight, and I can't remember if I'm the first one. Is this your first one? Let's see, we'll go back to this. Oh, what's your bucket list race? Okay, your bucket list race when we did your first member spotlight was a 31K loop. Was Javelina at Javelina, the Jackass loop.
Yeah.
This was probably when we started these early on. So, and I remember you telling me that you would never do more than a half a marathon. So that 31K there was even more than you ever said you would do. So
Yeah.
tell us what your longest run is now.
My longest run to date was a marathon at Across the Years, just this last New Year's. And for those who don't know Across the Years, it's a looped event of just over a mile loop. And you run around that as many times as you can, either in a certain time or for a certain distance. So I ran the marathon last year, basically to celebrate a year of being injury-free and building up my running throughout the year. I still haven't done Jackass.
Oh, okay then. Okay, well that's fun. We need to get that back on. And well, I don't know that it can happen this year because you've got other more important plans this year.
I'm pacing this year, so I will run that loop this year.
That's right.
I won't get a medal for it, but I will run it. I'm pacing my boyfriend in his 100-miler this year.
Yes, that's so exciting. So what changed for you with the distances that you decided that you felt okay going longer?
I think within the tribe, there's a lot of inspiration. And you see other people do it and you think, oh, maybe I can do that. And I did a lot of the group long runs, one particular fall with the 50K Frenzy group when I was training for the 25K. And you learn that it's just a matter of following the program and doing longer and longer long runs, and you can get there. And what I always do on longer distances now is I think how long I'm going to be out there. So for example, for a half marathon, I might say, okay, I'm going to move forward for 3 hours and see where I am. So I don't think of distance as much. I just know that I'm going to be out there. So for the marathon at Across the Years, I knew I'd be out there for 7-ish hours. And it was just a case of keeping it going.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And for those of you listening to this, it's actually a great thing. Actually, even when I write training plans, and a lot of coaches do this, that a lot of your training plans will start out with time and then they will convert to mileage because we have to make sure that you can do the mileage. But a lot of times, if you just think about things in terms of times, it's a lot more digestible because there's no pressure to how many miles have to get done in that time frame. And also a great thing about Across the Years is you knew you had plenty of time. So like you could have taken a nap if you wanted to and then went back.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
Yeah.
And actually I don't know where it's going to be because I forget and I'm just doing this now, but here's Jan's finish line video when she crossed her finish line, and we had a big True Tribe representation there for her because she's at all of our finish lines as much as she can be as well. And she's our resident videographer, I would say. If you've seen any of the finish line videos that I've been showing or put on social media, usually Jan's the one who takes them for us. And usually she's screaming. It's all of us screaming.
I'm screaming.
And this time
I apologize to everybody whose finish line video has me screeching.
But it's okay. And I want to circle back to the fact that you said, I think to me, this is like the biggest thing in the tribe. Like I never said to you, do a marathon. Like you literally came to that by yourself. And, we talk a lot about FOMO in the tribe. But at the same time, it is really amazing when you are surrounded by so many inspiring women up to, I mean, our oldest person right now is like 80 years old from our walking group. But we have, yeah, that year that you were talking about with Frenzy 50K, I think we had a handful of women that were over 60 doing their first 50K, right? And they all did amazing. So that's awesome. And how about if somebody was thinking about joining the tribe, or how has your life changed since you've been in the True Tribe?
I think the True Tribe, going back to the mental health part of it as well, is a very, very safe space for all of us to be ourselves and to talk about the real things. It's not just all running or all positivity. We've supported each other through, some people have been through bereavements, some people have been through medical issues, and I think it's so much more than just running. I've met some of my best friends through the True Tribe. Coming here, obviously I moved here permanently in 2019, and that's when I joined the tribe, and it has helped with the settling into being a permanent resident of the US. I think it would have been very easy to miss a lot of things about Ireland if I didn't have such a supportive group over here. So with the True Tribe and with the 𝙈𝙾𝙪𝙾 running community, who we do all our trail races with, it's really helped me to create a very positive life over here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, Jan is also probably the biggest 𝙈𝙾𝙾 running fan as well. And actually, yeah, a lot of times I want to say I'm having the memory of when you came back from Silverton and Kendall Mountain, your first time that you went, and she came back and she's like, you absolutely have to do this. I do things on Jan's recommendation. And this is our third year, I think our third year going to Silverton. But I just remember, because you did, I'm going to say this in quotes, because we say in the True Tribe, only is not a word we discuss as far as miles. But an 11K, which is, what is that, like 7-8 miles? What's it?
7.
7 miles, you know, again, in retrospect to people doing a 12-miler or a marathon or something longer, and an 11K, but it was a really hard 11K because you're in elevation and it's like a climb. And you were just so positive. You came back and you're like, that was like that. I think you said that was one of the hardest things you'd ever done.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
You wanted other people to feel that and know how I got badass after they finished it, right?
Yeah, awesome. It's definitely the toughest hill I've climbed. Is Kendall Mountain, especially towards the end, towards the aid station. You just feel like you're never going to get there.
Yeah. And we did that
so worth
last year. Last year, you, Melissa and I did that together.
Yeah.
We were actually all the last 3 people who came in after that because we were having way too much fun. We weren't messing around. We were just having fun.
Exactly. And I think what's important for people to understand as well is you don't have to run every step in any race, right? I walk a lot. Especially on trail, I let the trail dictate. On road, I might do timed intervals, but I think people, when they think about joining a running group, don't think that you can walk in running. And we all do.
Right. It's intimidating. I think this is probably the biggest thing I hear when people are like, well, I don't want to come because everybody's going to be faster than me, right? Everybody says that all the time. And I love how you did mention that you celebrate finish lines, not finish times.
Not finish times,
That's a big thing for us. I mean, we do have people that are, perform and have age group awards and all of that. And we've placed in our age group at, different races here and there, but that's not the focus for us. It really, truly is. And the camaraderie that you already mentioned. And Jan also is, thanks to Jan, but Jan's also a lifetime member of the True Tribe. Yeah. At one point, Jan just decided, I don't want to be paying this every single year. I know I'm going to be in for life. Just give me a price for that. So I appreciate that. And really do love having you so much in the tribe and being such an inspiration. If somebody were to say to you, well, what would you say to somebody if they were on the fence about joining the tribe?
I think the new people who've joined the tribe in the last couple of years would probably tell you just do it, right? Some of them come in on a trial, some of them come in as members. There's nothing to be worried about. There's no competitive aspect in the tribe unless we want to. right? If we want to train to be competitive in a race, we can, but nobody really competes against each other. There's no pressure on times, paces, anything like that. So just come along and come to some of the group runs, because we have a track run every week on Thursdays, which is really fun. And obviously we focus a lot on trail running. I'd never run trail before I met Lisa, so I love it. So just come along. There's events for everybody. We do looped events. The 𝙈𝙾 races that I mentioned go from everything from 2 miles all the way up to 250 miles. But a lot of the events have all different distances at the same event. And there's a beer garden, and there's, fun to be had. So it really is accessible and welcoming to everybody within the tribe and at the races. So I'd say just give it a go.
For sure. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. And if you are hearing this and you're not local, although we do a lot of things local, we also we have an online community that's very active. We have a lot of good stuff going on in there. People supporting and inspiring each other there too. So cool. Well, thank you so much, Jan. I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out and help me inspire other people who are watching my videos. And if you're listening to this and you made it this far, just if you want to shoot me an email at lisa@therunningsuniversity.com and you're interested in getting a free trial, go ahead and send me an email, because I don't have it open right now. It's basically like we kind of vet people. You kind of have to, we don't want people that are, toxic and drama and that type of stuff. We just want fun people. So if you're interested and you think you fit that, definitely just shoot me an email. And that's it. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, cool. All right. Bye, Jan.
Bye.
And for today's mystery medal, I am going into the box and just grabbing, oh my gosh, there's so many in this box. I'm trying to pull out as they get tangled up in each other. Goodness. Okay. Oh, all right. Ragnar. This is Ragnar. What does it say in here? 2014. Is this the Trail Ragnar? I can't even read. It says Trail McDowell. So 2014. So this had to be one of the first times we did Ragnar. I'm going to have to go back and check. It sounds about right. It's either 2013 or 2014. So if you don't know about the Ragnar races, here's the medal. I know I have other ones that are cooler, but anyway, this is the Ragnar medal. And Ragnar is a relay. It's a team event. And there are 3 different stages that you do, or legs. And you alternate with, I want to say 8 people. I can't remember now. It's been a while since I've done one. But you alternate with few people. I think 8, maybe 6, 8, something like that. But it's a lot of fun. I will say our first one was probably really the most amazing one, because I think when you just have that first time experience and you get to share it with everybody else who's having their first time experience, we just had a blast. And the year it was our first one, I had 2 teams, because I had so many people that wanted to do it together. And our one team came in second or third to last, and then the other team came in last. And the coolest thing about that was that Ragnar kept all the stuff up. So we still ran through the finish line, even though we were last. They had all of their crew came out, and they did one of those tunnels, and our last runner got to run through, because you go one at a time. So we all waited for our last runner. And in between, you usually have plenty of time in between your next leg, because the way that it works is so runner number 1 starts, and then runner 2 goes when they come back, and then runner number 3. So by the time 1 comes back, you have all that time in between. And so that's what makes it fun. You're camping out, and you get to, walk around, you get to see so many of your running friends. if you're into drinking beer or whatever, there's usually alcohol as well. Of course, this runs about, it usually starts on a Friday morning and ends on a Saturday afternoon. So you're going for quite some time. So you camp out, you're trying to get some sleep, but it was definitely a fun event. I did have a bad experience one Ragnar year with drinking too much Fireball. I still get a hard time about that. I don't drink Fireball really anymore, barely. If I do, it's maybe this amount, just for fun. But it's definitely a very, very fun event. If you've never done one, I definitely recommend trying it. I'm done with these. The last time I did one was maybe 2021 during right after COVID or during COVID. And I swore I would never do one before, and I ended up doing this one. And for me, it's just too much time in between, and there's too many opportunities to party as much as I think that's fun. I'd rather just run, all of those legs, which are usually a 4.5 miler, a 3 miler, and a 6 or 7 miler. I'd rather just add those all up together and just be done. And you do have an option to actually do an ultra, so that instead of having 8 people, you have 4 people that split that mileage. So there you have it. Go check out Ragnar. They do a road, which involves being in a van, or the trail one, which in my opinion is just much funner because you get to camp out. So there you have it. Subscribe to my channel, and I'd love to hear from you.